The shade thrown this episode was incredible. Also, warning, massive spoilers I'm going to be talking about past the roaring dinosaur, Rawrist. So if you don't want spoilers for episode 7, don't watch past it. But stay for the dinosaur because he's so cute when he roars. This episode was aptly named Breaking the Fourth Wall because, they were constantly breaking the fourth wall, as you guys informed me, was done in a lot of sitcoms. I have not seen the ones you have referenced, such as The Office, Malcolm in the Middle, other sitcoms. I don't care about anything that isn't sci-fi fantasy related, or history. Historical stuff's fun, but there's not a lot of historical sitcoms. I do want your guys' thoughts on the intro really quick. We've seen the intros getting more and more disturbing. Wanda's voiceover is less and less enthusiastic and, creepy. We know what you're doing, Wanda, written in the serial killer letter format, was just messed up. But there also was some numbers that refer to an event that Reed Richards investigated in space. So I don't know if that's a big hint. Reed Richards will be in one of the final episodes. I know everyone wants Blue Marvel. Why not both? Come on. Why not be greedy? We learned it from you, Disney. I love that Wanda is just absolutely losing her shit. From her perspective, she's already having a mental breakdown. That's the whole thing of creating the hex, the alternate reality, the pocket dimension, pocket reality, whatever you want to call it. But you gotta think, seeing Vision trying to leave this world she created so that he could exist and they could finally have the perfect life probably just pushed her right over the fucking edge, which is why everything is just coming apart. Although, and I don't know your guys' thoughts on this, maybe also because she expanded the hex, so she's a little more unstable because she isn't powerful enough to control the added amount. I do like that we're dealing more and more with mental health and how people deal with trauma, and you see people dealing with it in very different ways, such as Monica, who decided, I'm not going to run from it, I'm not going to live in a fantasy, this pain pushes me forward, it makes me who I am, which is a very delicate balance. Please get therapy, do what you need to do if you have trauma, don't try to just brave through it, but also don't run from it. On the other hand, you see a lot of people calling her out, like the narrator saying, well, maybe you deserved it, talking about her past traumas, which if you know someone or you yourself have dealt with trauma, there is this feeling of maybe I did deserve it. Maybe I am a bad person. And it seems like Wanda's trying to convince herself of that, such as when Monica said, don't be the villain he's trying to paint you as, and her saying, maybe I am. And she gave kind of that smile. And it just came across as someone trying to convince themselves that I'm the bad guy, and so this is okay, and justifying it. And I feel really bad for Wanda, even though what she's doing is really fucking messed up, but still, you feel bad for her. She's trying to convince herself in any way that she can that what she's doing is justified. That commercial, though, threw so much shade at her. The antidepressant Nexus, and I'm sure you guys all know this that's watching it because, you guys know everything. But Wanda is basically a nexus being. She's a focal point for mystical energies, which makes sense that Agatha would be drawn to her. But the nexus antidepressant and the world doesn't revolve around you. You need to face your feelings just was a perfect way of saying, hey, bitch, you can't do this. You can't manipulate reality and change it to how you want to be. You need to face your feelings. You need to feel your feelings. The world doesn't revolve around you. Or does it? I'm really interested where they're going with Agnes. We all knew she was going to be Agatha Harkness. There just were too many things pointing towards it. I'm interested to see if she truly is the villain of this series, because in the comics, Agatha helps Wanda. Agatha does some fucked up things too. Come on. But still, she helps Wanda quite a bit. So I wonder if this is kind of a ruse to push Wanda to deal with her trauma and work through it, and also have control over her mystical powers and be able to go forward from it. I kind of wonder if Pietro is actually Ralph, her husband, because we haven't seen him yet. He's definitely not her brother, and she did realize that, so that's nice. Kind of fucked up that Agatha killed Sparky. I think that alone makes her a villain. Like the worst villain of the MCU. Don't kill puppies. I love that Monica got that final hit and got her superhero powers, her eyes when she uses her powers. How they did the CGI in general, I am fucking loving it. I kind of wish Darcy did a little bit more, but I understand she was there to kind of fill in Vision. You know, Wanda just a few weeks ago killed you and then watched you be brought back and then was forced to watch someone else kill you. So she's a little unglued right now. And I really think that's going to help Vision try to get through to her and say, hey, I know what you went through, but this is still wrong. So I'm a little bitch baby and just a normal bitch, I guess. I really teared up when Monica was talking about do it, you know, hurt me. You can't do anything worse to me than what I've already experienced. And that she doesn't want to run away from the trauma like Wanda has. And I have seen in real life the different paths people can take from trauma. I have gone through trauma myself, and it made me want to help people and dedicate myself to making the world a better place. And I dated somebody who experienced the same level of trauma, and instead he turned that into bitterness and hate and just went around fucking people over because it was a fuck you world. I'm getting mine. So it's funny to see it so represented in this show, to see Monica dealing with her trauma in the opposite way that Wanda is dealing with her trauma. You know, it's like people that have been abused. Some of them grow up and they want to do everything they can to protect other people from being abused. And then you have people that were abused and they grow up to be abusers themselves. People can have the same start point and they can arrive at very, very different destinations. So I guess if I were to guess, I probably shouldn't use guess twice in a row. Ignore that. Where this is going, I don't think Agatha is the overall arching villain. I think she's doing this to help Wanda. I don't think Monica's gonna stay controlled. We see her eyes glow purple. I think Wanda definitely is going to be controlled. I think Monica's definitely going to break out of it. Oh my gosh, I loved how they showed her powers, how she could see everything. And if you know her comic counterpart, they are just doing an amazing job, and I am loving it. Here's a random stupid theory. What if Wanda did create the pocket reality because she was grieving and Agatha was attracted to it, and then she inserted herself in it and helps kind of fuel it? So what if Agatha didn't actually create the hex, the reality? She just decided to dip her fingers in it because she saw Wanda just losing her shit. I think Dottie's a naughty little bitch too. I'm really scared for the kids. I know what happens to them in the comics. I also know that there is a happier ending to them, but I'm still worried that something is going to happen to them by the end of the series, and it's going to trigger Wanda being the main bad, or maybe controlled by the main bad in this next phase of the MCU, which is dealing more with the multiverse and cosmic shenanigans. Okay, pour all your crazy ass predictions and theories on me. Just dunk me in your insanity. Like, subscribe, and please don't kill any more puppies, Agatha.